Jonesville Tool and Manufacturing started in 1988. We started as a general tool shop making jigs and fixtures. In the early to mid-90s, we got into building special machines and retrofitting CNC machines. By the late 90s, we were producing CNC machine parts. End of the 90s, we were into automotive and a fairly major automotive supplier. In this area, we supplied them with production assistance. And after the 2000, we got into other fields. We decided to broaden our base, customer base, and move on into other fields. And now we supply the automotive, military, commercial compressors.
We're capable of running several different sizes of steel, aluminum, cast iron, just about any material that's out there, plastics, nylons. We have automated machines. We have some that are manually run. We also have some milling centers that are for all different kinds of parts, secondary operations.
Our niche probably is in from 3-inch diameter up to, I'm going to say about 15-inch in turning now. And then we do some milling as well. Our milling probably up to 40 inches in length and then 20 inches in width maybe. So a mirage of different parts we could build with that kind of sizes basically. It could be anything from plates to castings to whatever you may need kind of deal. So.
We make a lot of components for heavy-duty off-road industrial equipment, dump trucks, bulldozers, whatnot. We also make a lot of fuel components for Caterpillar and stuff like that. We're capable about doing anything out there. It's just a matter of what the customer would like.
This is one of our medium volume compressor component cells. This cell runs 4 different part numbers. They all come out of the same casting. It's a semi-automated cell where the lathe operations, the A and B turn are automatically loaded, and then the final operation, which is drilling and tapping, is done on a vertical mill. It's our gauging station. Like we mentioned before, we're ISO 9001. We work on visual control plans. All the information that the operator needs is laid out here where he can check all the dimensions and everything that's happening in the cell. He can track with the gauges we have laid out for him. The raw stock castings are loaded in the far end. We run an A load, which turns one side of the part, and then a B load, which turns the other side of the part. This is all automatically loaded. It drops the part off on a conveyor. The conveyor feeds it to the operator, where the operator loads it into the final operation where it gets the holes and drill and tap. This is what it looks like coming out of the lathe. And after it's ran through the CNC mill. This is the final operation on the part. Fixture 2 parts at once. It's automatic pallet change. While it's machining the 2 parts inside of the machine, the operator is loading the 2 parts outside of the machine. Drilling the hole pattern around the outside perimeter of the part. Has another hole pattern on the inside and then a drill and tap in the center. This is one of our higher volume cells, also compressor component, smaller model. This cell also runs 4 different part numbers. Again, it's automatically loaded. Raw castings are fed in by the gantry system. We run 2 A loads. It's fed over to the other side, to the opposite machine, which runs 2 B loads. Then the operator loads, similar to the first cell, the operator loads the mill, and we do the drilling and tapping. Again, this cell is equipped with all the gauges that we need for the operator to monitor his operations throughout the cell. We run the visual control plans. All the information is listed. The gauging frequency is listed, and the gauges that he needs are here on the table. The castings for this particular cell come out of Ohio. we machine the parts, and then we send them back to Ohio.
I oversee PPAPs, production part approval. I do capability studies, gauge R&Rs, pretty much keep the lab going. Quality is the very basis of everything we do. If quality is not any good, then we're not making any money.
We have 3D software, including SDRC Ideas, which is now UGS Ideas. They've changed hands a little bit, but that's a 3D package with a 2D capability. We have BobCam, it's called. That is a computer-aided machining package to write tool paths and to manipulate the designs into the machines.
We have the capability to run 3 shifts. We're currently running 2 shifts. We have about 45 employees right now. We've been as high as 60 employees. We have cells that run from 1 to 10 piece lots. We have cells that run from 20 to 2,500 piece lots, and we also have cells that run 750 to 800,000 pieces per year. One of our competitive advantages, I believe, here at Jonesville Tool is the service that we provide in the timely manner that we provide it in. A customer can bring us a blueprint today, and we can have prototypes for them, first of next week, because we can take it from billet and 3D machine it. We can do the turning, milling, broaching, grinding, whatever it is that they need, and turn those prototypes around and develop that into a production part for them.
Well, we can hold tight tolerance. I mean, a lot tighter than a lot of other shops. I mean, shops are pretty much broke down into, say, a screw machine shop where, you're going to crank a lot of parts out volume-wise, but your quality is probably not quite as good as what we could hold here.
People are comfortable. They're not afraid to call you, hey, I need some help on this. Or can you get a few more of these parts today? And I know I only ordered this many, but can you get me another box or something like that? That really, I think that works well with the interaction with the customer, I guess, or just direct interaction with the customer all the time.
Our changeover times, they vary from job to job. You could be anywhere from, I have a couple out there that I have maybe a 2-minute changeover. I change a program number and it's done. The parts are really similar, so that's how we get away with that one. Saying on that job, 5 minutes max changeover time. Some other jobs, you could be up to 2-3 hours. That would be a total changeover where you're pulling all of the fixturing off from the machine, putting totally new fixturing on with tooling.
We're not terribly large. I think we're just the right size. Everybody's personally involved. Everybody has a little bit at stake here. They're proud of what they do. Everything has their name on it in some way, form, or fashion. It might not be a visual stamp, but it's the closest thing you can get to that without actually having a visual stamp on it.
After the turning operations and the milling operations, all our compressor components come through this cell, which is a fine finishing. This seal surface on the end of the part is finished down to a 0.6 finish. After the finishing operation, it goes through a wash, an anti-rust, and then a packing operation. This is our mill department, where we have 4 horizontal mills with pallet change. We have 2 vertical mills with pallet changers, and then 2 mills with straight table standard C-frame mills. This cell will run lots from 50 to 2,500. It's continually changing over. We do a lot of short run prototype. This is one of our off-highway driveline components. We machine from solid forging. This is one of our horizontal machining centers where we're machining a John Deere housing. This housing, the same casting, we make 5 different part numbers. So again, we run the different lot sizes, smaller lot sizes, and we've made this cell to accommodate all 6 part numbers. This area does our driveline damper components. Right now this cell is machining an inside hub component. We machine this in a vertical machining or lathe, A-op, B-op turning. This portion of the cell is again a vertical lathe. We're machining the weight that goes on that assembly. A-op, B-op machining again.
All the people that work here work together. I mean, as far as our management team, our core team, we've never failed before, and we have enough diversity between all of us that this should be no problem for us to get this together and get it done right and make it work right and have a happy customer at the end.
When we develop a program or a part with the customers, we try to be very involved and get them very involved in the process, so they know what we're doing and what we can do to make it more competitive, make them more competitive in their market. We'll work together with them from sourcing the raw material. We work with a lot of different foundries to try to find the right fit there.
Just wow, I can't believe you guys got that done so fast, you know, or how did you get it done that fast? And it's such a good part, you know, we can't find anything wrong with it. You know, how fast can you start making them from this point forward, you know?
We're in one of our driveline damper assembly cells. This is where we assemble the large engine dampeners. This will be the inside hub. We'll mount that in the press. This is the outside mass. The press will shove a rubber membrane in between the two pieces. After the press, it'll go to a balance where it'll be spun balance, and then anti-rust and container. This is our quality lab. We have a pretty complete quality lab where we have a automated Brown & Sharp CMM that does our daily floor audits, audits our production and our on-floor gauging. We have a manual CMM where we do all our first piece and PPAP and layout. We have a con tracer. The con tracer is used for internal chamfers, outside radiuses, and forms. And this is where we also set up all the gauging. As we do our changeovers, the gauging is pulled from the shelves, pre-set up, and moved to the line as the product is set up. John is doing a first piece layout. This is a product that just was set up in the cell. It gets brought into the lab. First piece layout gets done, check complete, and after approval, it'll go back to the cell and the cell will start producing the parts. Every component that we set up is checked on first piece basis. It has to have the approval by the quality lab before the job is actually ran, and then in-process checks are done continual through the run. Our high volume lines that do not change over every day, they're audited by quality every day.
Over the last 10 years, the biggest change we saw is the amount of technology that goes into a part. When we first got into the automotive, we were making fairly simple parts in high volume. Things have evolved to a lot more complicated, higher quality expectations in the parts and lower lot sizes. We do a lot more changeovers than what we used to, and that's one of the things that helps us perform well for our customers is the way we handle our changeovers in the short runs.
We've launched, I'd imagine, probably 60 part numbers in just a little over a year, and that's a lot for a shop our size. And that's PPAPs, APQP activities, everything with those. So they're fairly complicated processes, really, to do that many of them in a year and a half, I think, probably. So.
I think you'd choose JTM because we have a really good track record with all of our customers, where our quality is very high. We have a couple quality guys out there that you know that's all they do all day long is they just check parts. We have a great process of how the part goes through the whole system. There's many checks from the time it comes in the door till the time that it goes out the door to the customer.
Well, a lot of the complex parts we make are larger parts. shipping costs are higher. And also with the smaller lots, it's harder to manage with a long logistics. Or they can come to us. We can change over. There's not the time spent in the shipping. We can change from one part to the next and meet their needs as their requirements change.
I can guarantee you, if you look at us for any of your needs, we will give it 100% of our attention. You know, treat it like it's the one and only job we have. You know, it's gonna determine whether we succeed or fail in the future, whether or not we succeed on your project. That's how we'll treat it, and we treat everyone that comes through this door or gives us a call. We'll treat them the same way. You know, they're extremely important to us.
Our guys are really, what I want to say, they take the ball and run with it. You don't have to babysit. I mean, they're not just focused on one portion of the job. They can go all the way. Like for one instance, Corey Jim is one of our process engineers. He'll start from he'll see the releases from the customer, and he'll know what to tell Jim to order for material when he needs it, all the way up till tell the shipping department when they got to be ready to ship some and things like that. But in the middle of all that, he's also training the operators and making sure the operators are doing what they need and getting the tooling he needs to run the part.
I think we're definitely going down the right path. I think we have a lot going for us here that a lot of other manufacturing places may overlook, including the personal experiences or the personal relationships with the customers, the ability just to go the extra mile to make sure that your part is better than everybody else's, and you can get it done just as fast, if not faster.
I think we have a very strong future. We have a great quality system. We've got a great group of people, and we're continually building our customer base and moving into new markets. And I think that makes us very strong for the future. As the market changes, we can change with it.